Hey guys, how you doing today? Hope you are doing great and welcome to this pre-London Business Growth Conference pre-event, right? So we're going to be having some of the speakers, some of the volunteers join us, and we just have a very interesting conversations today. Please tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. I have Kim Bain himself from Cameroon. Good to see Cameroon is here. How is Cameroon? I was in Cameroon last year. I had a great time in Cameroon. I don't know. I just have a good experience each time I go to Cameroon. Good people. So yeah, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Like to know success from Nigeria. What city? Nigeria. Success. What city? Amos Anigboro from Nigeria. What city? Nigeria. Wealth Tochi from Borno State. Wow. Okay. Cluvert from Chicago. How's Chicago today? Okay, I have Uche from the UK. We're in UK, Uche, and I hope you're coming for tomorrow's event. For Saturday's event, Saturday and Sunday. By the way, tomorrow we'll have something on the side for you guys, a meet and greet and book signing by myself and Dr. Cosmas. Okay, who else do I have? Amos Agboro from Sapele. Welcome. So Success from Lagos. Welcome, Success. Thank you for joining. Welcome everybody. As you're joining, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. So we're doing, by the way, if you're one of my guests and you're here, please let me know that you're here, so I can pull you off. Okay, I have, who else do I have? Let me see. Collins from Nigeria. Collins, where in Nigeria are you joining from? Collins. Right, I'd like to know where in Nigeria you're joining from. So, who else do we have? Welcome. Okay, finally I have my first guest, Bukumi Preacher. Okay. When we're talking, myself and Bukumi some time ago, Bukumi sent me a request and he was saying, sorry for preaching to you. In my mind, I said, when a man's name ends with preacher, why won't he preach to you? Okay, so I was expecting some preaching. By the way, Bukumi Preacher will anchor the event. He will be anchoring the event. Himself and Patu Bilo will be anchoring. We have Seriki Daria, we do comedy. So when I do event, I try to make it lively as well, so that it's not, there can be some fun in the event, and it's not just like people will say, oh, we didn't have some fun. So you're gonna have fun, but you're gonna learn in a great way. So Bukumi Preacher, send me a request so I can pull you up. For those of you just joining us, tell me your name and the city you're joining us from. But let me start. What is Business Growth Conference? I started our company about 17 years ago. And we are in 4 continents of the world today. And I felt after all, one of the biggest thing I realized we have is the ignorance level. There's a huge ignorance about entrepreneurship, about business, and I discovered that if we're really gonna turn the nation around, if we're gonna turn Africa around, entrepreneurship is something we have to get right. Okay? We have to get entrepreneurship right. It's a tough conversation, but we have to do it. So for me, I decided that, you know what, I want to invest the next, few years, investing in entrepreneur, mentorship, buying businesses, scaling those businesses. By the way, Bukumi, I'm sending you invite. I don't know why you're not able to join. You may need to delete your you may need to delete your Instagram and then reinstall it and then send the request again. Maybe that's when it will work. Um, Mr. Jonathan, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
I can't see you, funny enough.
Can you see me now?
Nope, I can't
Ah,
see you.
hold on. Let me do it. I can see myself, but
You can
I don't know whether.
exit. Don't worry, exit and come back again.
Okay, I'll do that. Cheers, man.
Yeah, exit and come back again. So for me, I felt like, and I travel around the world. I see how this subject of entrepreneurship, is a major issue, right? I meet other nationals. You see people thinking business, you see people talking business, you see people supporting each other. But when it comes to ours, we create drama around even things that are not worth drama. We create so much drama. So we felt there's a lot to, figure out around entrepreneurship, and we need to begin to have the conversation. And so it's part of why the Business Growth Conference. Mrs. Fumitela, I think you might need to maybe delete your Instagram and then reinstall it because for some strange reason for you as well, I'm not able to pull you up. And it keeps saying decline. So I think you want to do that, Mrs. Fumitela.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, it's
Finally.
working.
Yeah, I can see you. So I guess you deleted yourself as I
No. I
suggested.
just switched. I switched device. I was trying to join from a phone, and that was not working. I just switched device. I think because I and it's 16th. I was trying to join from an iPhone, and this is Android. So
Well,
I think that if that person is having the same problem, they might as well come to Android to you know.
well,
So
sometimes is that you need to delete your Instagram and then reinstall it because it might be that it's not the latest version and those things happen. So
well,
your
possible.
your
It's
and
possible.
your Android might have the latest version and things like that.
Well,
This
possible. That's
technology
possible.
can be funny. But
That's possible.
welcome,
Yes,
welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. I'm cool in our cool weather.
Cool weather.
It's giving you a vibe of almost what's it called? Almost winter, but not yet winter.
Yeah,
So,
and it's too early to be having such.
well, times are changing, so you get to adjust. So times
Mm,
are changing. I'm
mm,
preparing for weekend. It sounds like it was like some months ago, like this conference is going to be happening, but all of a sudden now is about 1 day from now.
yeah,
2 days now,
yeah.
the group conference is on already.
It's funny how times fly. I mean,
It's fun.
tomorrow we've even decided to do a book signing tomorrow evening with
Yeah.
myself and Dr.
Oh,
Cosmos.
okay. Okay.
And that one is free, so anybody can join. Those who have been complaining about the cost of the conference, they
Ah,
can.
well,
I probably will send you the flyer you can post. Let them come at least
please,
have
please
a
let
taste.
them come.
And,
Mm,
you
Let
know,
them
I,
come.
I, I want to start. I mean, you're a Daystar person. And by the way, I've as much as I am not a member of Daystar, I can tell you I've been a Daystar person. And what attracts you to Daystar is the teaching. And sometimes, you're wondering whether am I the only one that like to learn? Because when I look at my journey and how far I've come, And my colleagues who used to mock me in those days and say they are just motivating you, you know, they are collecting your money. I used to remember when I was in university and people would come train us and there was a charge to it. You know, one of my friends would say, so you pay 5,000 naira now. Are you rich now? You know, you know. But today you look back at my success. Unfortunately, some of those people, some are happy for me, some are still among those who will be like, but we're
What is
together.
he
Well, you
doing?
must have done something wrong. You must have cut some corner. He's just not telling us the truth. But when the truth was obvious for everybody to kind of learn, come for meetings, talk to rich people, listen to them, ask them questions. Your proximity to wealthy people makes the journey to wealth a lot, you know, closer for you. Now, you as a Daystar person, how has that journey been? Being in that environment that is teaching me or Ronnie?
So let me use some personal stories, and I'm sorry to take a bit of your time. You see, I came into Lagos in 2009, June, having secured a job with one of the banks in Nigeria. So Ibadan boy packed my bag and I entered Lagos. And I entered Lagos, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. I entered Lagos with a suit that someone gave me. I didn't have a complete jacket. It was a top. So I'm sure you know those St. Michael trousers. I had one, and there was a red bag that I bought from Gate. It was a good bag. You know, it was when I got to Lagos that I know that there's not much to the bag. So I landed in Lagos, having to, I was, the way the bank is structured. The person that housed me then was a junior staff to me at work, in terms of rank, but he was in Lagos. We were living in Pangrove then. So my branch was in three Sylvia Crescent, Anthony, the Zenith Bank just by that corner. That was my branch. Now, I've always heard about Samadi Yemi, training, teaching, and all of that. But you see, of course, at some point, after 8 months in that place, I got my own house. Then, of course, this star was, I said, I know this man. I used to hear this man. This is what he looks like. So I entered the church.
Through Sunset
And,
Power.
but yes, of course, as an Ibadan boy, I used to listen to the then I found him on TV. Then I went into the church. And not to preach church, because you see, what I learned is that he always says a word. He will say, the word works wonders. That there's no way you would encounter the word and it will not, lift you. And he has a way of telling us that you need to pursue this, pursue that. And I've said the story. In fact, Reverend Samadi Yemi has said my story in one of his message, in church, And I remember the interview I had with the church. I said, when I came to this town, I was poor, stupid, arrogant, and uninformed. They say, anytime anywhere you find arrogance, you find poverty very close to that place.
Poverty and pride.
It's always very close to that place. But I tell you what, so there was a lot of trainings, and I'm going to this training issue. There was a lot of trainings that Daystar will pull you through. One of them, very significantly, is what they call the leadership in excellence in leadership conference that we do. Then we have the Daystar Leadership Conference, the academy that we have, the Leadership Academy. Then I went for the first one. I could not my body could not really contain what I've heard. I've met people at the conference. By the time I went for the second level, which is the DLA Advanced, I had no point but to resign, because I discovered that, you used to do entertainment in school. This is what you wanted to do. I've learned so much. And I was privileged to, I was trained with public speaking by the likes of Niya Adesonya. Pastor D, was there then. Then I'd rolled around people like that in church. So I finished that. You see, I finished that DLA basic class. But I'd run with people that are doing so much, because I was a young guy. And I'm seeing young boys who say, I'm the owner of that business. I'm like, how can you be the owner of that business? Me, I'm hustling. It was even one of my vacation that I did, because it was 2 weeks or so then. This one, I'm a fashion designer, but I'm this brand, I'm that brand. I'm like, I've got something on the inside of me that I want to work with also. Then by the time I would do the advanced class, I pulled out. Luckily for me, Teju Babyface was running what he called the Secret of the Street series then. So I was able to join some of his training, and I said, "This guy, I'll follow him." And of course, please, I don't want to waste our time. The way I became a student of Teju Babyface is funny, because I used to, I would just buy gifts. I would go to his house. At that point in his life, he has said the story now, so me too I can say it. He was in trouble in his life at that point. So I was trying to do something for the person I'm trying to learn from. So I remember one of those days, it was towards the end of the year. I had bought a Christmas gift. I wanted to do that with like of Sako. So I said, this Teju Babyface that I'm learning from, let me go to him and go and give him something. Then I bought a book. I don't know. I said, what? I told I would like a book. So I bought the book. I went to his office in Surulere. Unknown to me, he was living in his office then. I said so. It was one of when he was having issues with it. He was living in his office. So when I got to the gate, I'm like, I've come to deliver this gift for him. A man walked in who is now a friend today, Tunde Aluko, and he said, "Who are you?" I said, "Sorry, I'm here to see David. Do you have an appointment?" "I don't have an appointment. Too. I just googled up his address, and I know that this is his address, office address. So I've come to drop his Christmas gift." And he said, "Wait." They stopped me at the gate, and he went in and told him that one Bukumi preacher. Don't forget, I was an MC at that time because I resigned my banking job in 2012. This was in 2016, and Teju Babyface said, "Go and bring him in." And when he said, "What do you want?" Because prior to that time, I had messaged him online. One time when he was doing this, I said, "You know what, Oga? I don't get money, but you see this week that you are going to be tweeting. Can I have your number so that I can load your number for the data that you are going to use to broadcast this week's training?" And he gave me the number. Now I have his number, and I was able to load that. And that was how me coming on Teju Babyface show, me joining the team, that was how it happened. But you see, all of these things, and I'm trying to say this training, that training, because those were the things that personally shaped me. They were the, most of all didn't come from much. But in all of these trainings, I entered this when the likes of Lekki Gardens, of course, was starting his business. We had we had the rain oil in church. We had excellent minds that were willing to share. And those trainings were the things that like I said, so much that I said, you know what, I can do more than this banking stuff, and begin to pull for myself. And if anything at work, I put some things on my page very recently. The only reason that I'm not, and I speak for myself now, not to speak down on anyone, the only reason why I'm not trapped in the UK system, it is by the quality of the training that I've had growing up as an entrepreneur mind. So know that in this system, I cannot come into this system and just play the game of hustle, work, overwork, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. It was based on those trainings that I said, you know what? And I remember I said to my wife, I said, it is impossible for me and you to hustle in this country and make it. And Reverend has always said, you know him now, start with what you have, do this one, parable of dollars, like there was a message that Reverend Sam taught, and I'm sorry for taking your time. He taught the message in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. It was a series on real money.
Yeah.
To the when he was using the pounds.
I told him that was one of the powerful, it was still cassettes in those days. I even after he taught it, I bought all those cassettes and oh Lord, and CD.
I can tell you those message. I can tell you word for word. Where he coughed, I know where he coughed. But it was the deals in the fact that this is what money means. And he said, and I remember that I told my friend, I said, you cannot be available to make every money that you will spend. You cannot be physically present to make every kobo that you will spend. If you are physically present to make every kobo that you will spend, you will struggle till the day you meet your creator.
Yeah.
because money must eventually then work for you.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I learned those things in when it was the 2012. I wasn't even in the church when he preached it. I wasn't really active there, but we're able to get the CDs and study, and those were that has been the only reason why I believe that I'm not trapped, in this system. Because you see, I'm like I told you personally when we were on call, that you see, I'm glad that there's a lot of discussion happening to the Nigerian in the UK especially, because we are people are buying a lie, yeah, in terms of struggle and hustle. And if only we would have these ideas, these principles, people that have done business or doing business, that we can begin to pick ideas and pick, lessons here and there, then we might as well, make things happen, for ourselves, other than working for every kobo that we spend. Because really, money must work for you to have peace.
And you're very right. You're very spot on. A lot of people don't understand that the concept of wealth, um, doesn't have nothing to even do with hard work. I have a formula I teach. I say hard work plus smart work plus network equals to billions. There's a limit to how much hard work we do, and there's nothing wrong with working hard. I'm one of the hardest hardworking person you meet. But my hard work isn't for money. My hard work is for peace of mind. My hard work is that I enjoy what I do. I enjoy changing people's life. I enjoy, I mean, the guy who is going to be doing comedy, I just had a meeting with him in the afternoon, Sir Kindari, and it was humbling because I remember when he just started those kits, so I would just share them that great job, well done, send him DM. 2023, my boss, my first UK event. I invited him, we had breakfast, I gave him some money just to support the event I couldn't even attend. And then, you're meeting again, and then you are seeing the growth is such. He's telling me all the companies who sponsor his event. He now hosts the biggest comedy show in Jos. He now use Transcorp for his comedy show. And you're like, we watch, but that tells you the power of inspiration. And he was talking, said some of what you said to me, some of what, it just encouraged me, in that entrepreneurship journey. Right? So man must work, but your work shouldn't be for money. Your work should be what you love doing, because ultimately you don't become wealthy from work. You become wealthy from building an empire that other people will work for you to grow the empire, and other people's money will help you grow the empire. Or you become an investor. The second person beside you, Sanfongo, he's from Cameroon.
Hello, sir.
Real estate guru here in the UK, very highly respected. And he can tell you more. How are you?
Hello, hi, good evening. Can you all hear me very well?
Very
We
clearly.
can all hear you
Okay,
very
great.
well.
It's great. I'm enjoying following the discussion. Very, very good discussion. Sorry, I had a mastermind because like I said I do for the Somewhere Lit Academy every Thursday evening between 7 and 8. I do a mastermind, so they all come, like a few hundred people come on Zoom to ask me questions about property auctions, which is my comfort conversation about properties going to what's happening to the auction or what they need to look out for. So sorry, I'm a bit late for that reason. So
No problem at all. I mean, we're just having the conversation. But yeah, you can pick it up from where we stop.
yeah. So no, it's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to be involved in the doing business in the UK. We're looking forward to the discussions, the panel discussions on Saturday. But yeah, so I just thought let's come on today, encourage people, followers to come on Saturday for us to do a bit of networking and discuss about business, real estate, and other businesses, because business is not limited to real estate. Real estate might be the main thing that we all put forward, but there's always something else in the background. Like in my case, we have our family. We're quite big in healthcare. We do like supported living, My wife, my sister, they do like supply of nurses, doctors, locum. So we all do that. So it's about business. But everyone, it's always good to have something that you hold out there, but there's always more things in the background as you were. So let's come and discuss about business, get to understand what each other does and how we can all help each other. So I'll be looking forward to being on that day.
By the way, you've been moved to the real estate panel on Saturday.
Yeah.
So your panel will be more around investing in real estate because I just felt it's good to put you in you're done in that world. So
Absolutely. No, it's so good, so good. Yeah, It's good to be on there. So what will be the structure? About what time will the panel start? The real estate panel.
So I think Kike will give you all the details.
Okay.
I'm sure she's been in touch, I believe so.
Yes, she has. Yes.
So she's gonna give the program, but the event starts, registration start 8, event start 9. We want all the speakers to be on ground full time so we can I mean you were there 2022 as well.
Yeah.
It's good to learn from others, as it's gonna be a very rich room.
Oh, no. I mean, like I said earlier, we need to learn from each other. And then secondly, you can't just come at the time of your panel because you need to understand the ethos of the event by
Yeah.
listening to how, because sometimes you learn a lot from the questions from the audience, even being the audience itself. So I'll definitely be there all day.
Yeah. And by the way, I wanted to ask you, why real estate for you? And again, in the UK, how is real estate one of the important tools for building wealth in your own view?
Yeah. Okay. Like for me, I think real estate as a business or as a wealth building tool, it's a good tool because of leverage. Real estate is a business that you can come in with 100,000 and you start talking about a £1 million property, even though you only brought a 100,000 or less. So you can actually brag about other people's money in your transaction.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an analogy that I always hear people give is that if you walk into Barclays Bank and you tell them that you want to buy shares in Barclays Bank for 200,000, but you want to borrow 100,000 from them, they're not going to give you the loan.
To buy their own shares.
Their own shares, they will not give you the loan. But if you tell them that you want to buy a property around the corner or somewhere up north of England for 200,000 and you want to borrow 170,000 from them, they'll borrow it to you. So what does that say to you? That they have a lot more confidence in that real estate than they have in their own shares. So without much further ado, if the banks know that real estate is a solid investment, but and then in terms of the UK specifically, the systems are very well organized. The process, and then there's a lot of education around. So if you really want to do it by yourself, if you haven't got time for education, there are lots of people that will do it with you or for you. So it's a very safe asset class
But there are people who will tell you that, hey, Sanfongo, I'm an immigrant. I think these are not for people like us who are new, it's difficult to be able to get properties in the UK. I don't have a lot of resources. What's your opinion in terms of how you've been able to help immigrants who don't have huge resources to acquire properties in the UK?
Yeah. Well, okay. Funny enough, I was in Nottingham this week. I was talking at some event, and I told people that immigrants, the term immigrant has changed completely. Before, an immigrant used to be someone that you can see on the street and point your finger. Now, some immigrants don't even leave that country. They can be there and get jobs in the UK. And the moral of the story is that some people are here, they think that, oh, because they're only here on COS, they cannot buy a property. I have a lot of clients that own property in the UK. They've never been to the UK because you can buy from anywhere in the world and not even 100% cash. You can get a mortgage. There's so many challenger banks. is when the typical person that's not educated or that doesn't hang around the right network, when they think of buying a property, they walk up to Lloyd's Bank, where the bank or Barclays, and say, "Oh, I want a mortgage," and they say, "Oh yeah," they bring the passport and say, "Oh yeah, you don't have indefinite stay," or "You have indefinite stay," they say, "You don't have a British passport." But those are the policies. It's not a law in the UK.
Yeah.
Their challenger banks that will lend to anyone. They couldn't care less where you are, as long
Yeah.
as they have equity to protect them. So it's about the network. It's about who you hang around, what you go to. You don't just walk up to a high street bank and say, "I want to buy a property." Then they start giving you their own policies. It's not a law. At times you hear amongst Africans, they say, "Oh, you cannot buy a property in the UK if you don't have a British passport, if you don't have indefinite stay." It's like, no. That some banks have that policy, but by all means, there are people. I have clients that have never been to the UK, and they own properties in the UK, and they actually buy and maybe even sell them without ever coming to the UK.
Wow. I mean, this is powerful. By the way, guys, I would like you to comment. Are you learning something? Kindly drop a comment if you're enjoying this conversation. This is the London Business Growth Conference pre-event. We're just having conversation. Bukumi is going to be the anchor of the event with Pato Bilo. Sanfongo is one of the speakers. We're still going to be bringing some other speakers to join as they come in. But we just want to have a feel of some of the things you're going to be learning at the conference. Because the UK is the same with the US. The persons you meet when you come to the country determine your future. If you meet someone like Sanfongo, then you're going to be a property mogul and probably invest in a lot of real estate. If you
Absolutely.
meet if you meet somebody else, you probably will have to be nurse, even if you study engineering in Ghana. They're gonna tell you must be a nurse to make a headway. So in some parts like this, the people and I think Sanfongo will agree with me that the problem with the Western world is that here you have to pay for knowledge. And many of us have been used to Africa where I can just say, Bukumi, you are my brother now, cousin, oh yeah, open me up, tell me the truth. How does it work? But in the Western world, you want to really, for example, start a real estate business, you need to meet some elites, and some elites are going to teach you about real estate for free.
Yeah.
You got to pay. But Africans are used to that. Oh, if you're rich, you are supposed to teach me for free, right? So I mean, I'm not supposed to pay because you're Uncle Samfongo. How do we begin to break away from this kind of mindset? Any one of you can pick that question.
You go first. I'll come on that.
I actually like to speak to what is said in the beginning as regards the concept of real estate or property in itself, I like to call it, because you see, so of course, as you know, I have immigrants in business conversations that I have around the United Kingdom. And what I can say very categorically is that almost everyone that I've found to be an immigrant who is a millionaire in the United Kingdom that I have found personally have something to do with properties. Now, there's
Very
something
true.
that you mentioned here that I wish you would elaborate more. Maybe at the conference we'll just more about it, because
Oh yeah.
so
We
this much
can't
I
give
found
we
out.
can't give you all the juice. So
So
at
this
the
this
conference
much
we will talk more.
this much I have found out that you don't even have to personally have, maybe you required 100,000, to come on a property. You don't even have to have that money yourself. Because in the UK, as he mentioned, if you have enough knowledge, then you would know that you can actually even own a property without the concept of mortgage. People come together, do property, people do BRRL, they refurbish a property, they flip it, they sell. People come together on the property, as a business, and they are immigrants. Like, there are people who are not, they don't have a British passport, like you rightly mentioned. And people have set up business around these things. You see three brothers coming together to come on a property with, okay, I've got £30,000, you've got £30,000, three of us, we've got £100,000 amongst us. Then we create a special purpose vehicle. Then we use that to eat this property. Then we can flip. These things are happening. And like you rightly said, these are not the things that you are going to pick from. Like it sounds very simple as I've mentioned that three people are coming together, but it's not just coming together. I mentioned something about creating a special purpose vehicle. You need to know where to buy, from whom to buy, refurbishing it. You need connection with all of that, and you see, it's a whole world that can actually give people a lot of peace. But you see, unfortunately, and I think hopefully the idea will change, that our community will look for knowledge and not necessarily for money. I don't know how to, our people, that's why people think it's how much you work, but knowledge would do a lot for you, because you see that property business in the UK, like from BRR, people flipping properties, rent to rent, people even jump on property to do some support living arrangements and all of that. That is a whole world in as regards property in the UK. And what is amazing for me, in the last, I think me joining is about 2 years now. What has been mind blowing for me is that you don't need all the money in the world to play in that game, and that has been for me personally mind blowing. So that's what I wanted to. When I was talking about that, I was just smiling that okay, this is it. This is it.
And I agree with you. I think Sam may want to add to that.
Yes, absolutely. When it comes to knowledge, it's really about paying to be in the right circle. And I do. One of the things I always say, like the people that are in the Someone Leads Academy, who pay a lot to be in there. The lots of them, they probably pay north of a lot of money to be in. And I always say, I give them case studies about people who have gone to auction, bought a property, and then call me afterwards when it's gone bad. And then like, did you read the legal pack? No, I didn't know. Did you do this? No. I have advised someone and I said, this is your best position, walk away from your deposit that you paid. Your most profitable position to go to walk away now. Because if you try any further, you cannot limit the damage. Just walk away and leave the 10,000 deposit or 30. One guy paid about 40,000 deposit. He's like, just walk away. But so I say to people at the academy that you've already de-risked this because you're never going to do this. I say this is what I'm sharing to you. You've already made a fee by this. When I shared out to them, the first time I get on stage, I say you've already earned whatever 10, 12,000 that you paid to be here. You already made that money by this information that I've made to you, that you do not buy a property from auction without the legal pack. So it's about knowledge. It's really knowing what, just like what we shared about finding out which banks, who can lend, and the people here of Nigerian origin that do not know that there are Nigerian banks that can give you a mortgage to buy property because they don't know. So it's like I've spoken to people and I said it's a Nigerian bank. They say a Nigerian bank. Why would a Nigerian bank be giving a mortgage in the UK? I said there are lots of them. But if you don't know, you don't know. It's not a cliche that you don't know what you don't know, but really people don't know what they don't know. So it's really being around the right circle, coming to events like this, meeting people that will share or what you do. Just like you say about when people come to the UK. I was in Nottingham the other day, bought a block of flats from auction, and then I started chatting with one of the tenants. He's Nigerian on the COS, typical, working in a care home. And I found out what the guy was a banker in Nigeria. And I'm saying to him, but these are guys are so smart. They were bankers in Nigeria, but maybe because they've just come here, it's in Nottingham, they're stuck in some small two-bedroom flat, with two friends, and they're just going and working. And these are smart minds. And the guys, they look like in their 30s. They're bankers. That's a prime of a banker. And then now he's come down. But you can see those guys, they need to be in the right circle to bring that knowledge from Nigeria and the bit of money that they're making. And I think, and I'm really impressed with this kind of events that you're running, because once we pull all those people out, what they and let them know that the little money that they're making, it gives them the stability in the country, but they need to now use that knowledge to leverage what they have in. Coming off the Samuel Liz, there's one lady in there, she's Nigerian. Actually, we're just having a chat in the distant Yaoundé. I was chatting with her. I just bought her a very distressed property in Midlands for about 160 within 5 working days. But that property, as soon as we bought it, it's worth about anywhere between 230 and 260. But she bought it cash, but she didn't have cash. But because she had some money, I have private lenders that will lend 50, 60% loan to value instantly, because it's on desktop valuation, because it's the laws in the UK are very safe to lend money to people if it's backed on a property. So that excuse, I don't have money. Once you know me, if you have 50% of the money, you call me, I will lend you the rest. I have people that will lend the rest for you in 48 hours. So you are a cash buyer. Once you know me, I have people that can come in. So she can go to her friends and say, oh, I bought a house in Birmingham within 5 working days. It's like, excuse me, you must be lying.
And they will tell you it's a lie, because
Yeah,
I mean, to
It's
buy a
it's not
property,
possible. It's not
yeah.
possible in this
because
UK.
because what they know is through the mortgage system takes you 3 months or 6
Yeah,
months. So they don't know there's another route like what
yeah.
Samfungo is talking about.
Yeah, that we bought a property in 5 working days, and guess what? I only met her that day at Samuel Liz Academy, and she came after I talked. She came to chat with me, and I told her about the deal. She bought it within. So it's like it's like meeting someone and getting married to them. It's like a Las Vegas wedding or marriage. We just met and got married. We say let's do it. No time for all this courtship. Let's do it immediately. So for me meeting her, I didn't know her for up to 2 weeks. We already bought her property within a week of
Yeah.
just meeting her, and it's about taking action as well. So because you can have all the knowledge, because sometimes you have people here that run down gurus' names. Oh yeah, this person, oh they defrauded my money, but other people in your class have bought properties, right? Because you some people are like a sponge from one mentor to the next, and then they'll condemn them. But I said, I always play the devil's advocate. But I say, who else was in that co-head with you? Who else here has invested? Because you can't blame your mentor for you not invested. Your
I like
mentor
that.
opens your mind to possibilities, but you have to grab them. You can't go blaming, oh yeah, I paid £10,000 and I've not got a property. Yeah, but that's yeah. So it's paying, looking for network, but most importantly, taking action as well.
Absolutely. By the way, welcome everyone. This is a pre-event talk for the business growth conference. And I just want to put the link for those of you who want to attend. You can attend virtually or physically in London, starting Saturday to Sunday. By the way, it's important to state, somebody was asking, so you can buy property in London when you are in Nigeria. The answer is yes, you can. You don't need to, you don't need to be in the UK to own a property in the UK. You can be in Nigeria, you can be in Ghana, you can be in Kenya and buy property. Same thing with the US. You don't need to be in the US to own properties in the US. I got my first house in the US without even Social Security, right? And I still got, 30/70 loan to value ratio. So it's a lot that, again, it's why we need to, if there's one thing I wish I can ring to our people's mind, is the importance of prioritizing knowledge and valuing it and investing in it, and understanding the fact that, like Samfongo just said, imagine the person losing $40,000. I'm almost betting that that person is an African. You know, we're so smart. Just like, oh, why should I go and pay somebody £10,000 to learn anything, or £5,000? I can figure it out. I'm smart. I'm smart. And I tell people, it takes being smart to be poor. Yeah, it takes being smart to be poor. And I'm being honest with you. There are certain businesses I've done that eventually worked, that if I were really that smart, I would not have done it, because smart people do something we call analysis that leads to paralysis. And if I had done that analysis that leads to paralysis, I would not have done it. And it takes wisdom, at least some level of intellect, to be able to really, really analyze things deeply. So you need to know that. And that's why sometimes people get upset. I don't know whether some of you have noticed that, where some people will just say, but that guy's so rich, he's not that intelligent. You'll have heard sometimes, he's not that smart. I thought there's something, I even think I'm smarter than. Listen, people don't become rich by being all that smart.
I also think, to cut you, sorry, that because let's cut you, because people
Yeah.
forget the part of being in the right place. Take for instance this weekend now, the quality of people that are going to be in that room. I think even if you are coming for a conference, whatever it is that they are going to be teaching in the conference, of course, brilliant men are going to be speaking, are going to be learning. But I think personally, I'm looking forward to the quality of people, to that would be there, and I'm not sure it's something that the poor mind of every mind understand to leverage on. They don't know to say, you know what, I want to be here. Of course, we got the likes of Dr. Cosmas Maduka coming through. He's going to be physically present. I didn't even know that Mr. Sam was going to be coming on until now. You want to. As a comedian myself, I probably will be linking up with Daria and myself. So, like, you can just imagine what we've come for knowledge, but then I'm like, oh, Seriki, what's up? Oh, I want to do this thing. So those are the things that happen in places of knowledge like that. That I'm hoping that as a people we begin to put premium on it, because when you see a rich man say, "Oh, I'm going for this class and I'm paying $100,000 for it," they are probably not going for the class. They are going for the people that are going to sit next to them in the class. Because for people to come, that level of people that you find in such class.
And I agree with you. And this is very, very powerful. People at my level, we don't go to conferences because there is really much of a new thing to learn.
To learn.
We go to conferences to network. And I learned this many years ago. One of my first billionaire friends said it. And when he said it, I was shocked. I was telling about an event. He said, I don't go for free events. I said, oh. I said, really? He said, yeah. It was the first billionaire that was my friend. He said, any event I'm going for must be minimum between 5,000 to 10,000 pounds. I mean, dollars. So I said, wait, do you have so much money that you want to just waste? He laughed. He said, well, I'm into construction. Okay. And for me, as a person in construction, anybody that could pay 5 to 10,000, and this was many years ago, so now I'm sure he has increased that fee. Is there anybody that could pay $5,000 to $10,000 in a conference? Either he's rich enough to patronize me and give me a contract to build a house or do a road or do a project, or his father is rich enough to give
Or
me
a
a
friend.
contract, or somehow he will fit into my ideal customer. So he said, I don't go for conference because necessarily there's something to learn. I even just check the price. Easy. Once the price is high, then I want to be in that room because my customer is there. And I pick that culture up. When I go for conference, they say, oh, VVIP ticket. That's the one I buy because that is where the people I'm trying to get to do. I'm into real estate. I mean, it's high ticket, right? So I need people, and it's just being honest. I need people who can afford what I sell. We're talking about a roadshow our team is trying to put together here in the UK, and Samfungo, I'm going to get you involved. And then somebody say, oh, Notting Hill Carnival. We need to be at Notting Hill Carnival. I said, really? I said, I'm not sure the people who can afford the kind of property I sell are in Notting Hill Carnival, right? Outside of Nigeria, average of the property I sell is $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. Are such people in Notting Hill Carnival, right?
Dancing on the streets.
Exactly. Maybe maybe some properties we sell in Nigeria that are still in the range of $30,000 to $100,000. Maybe we'll find somebody. But that is part of what some of us don't understand about wealth. I'll give a story here. And by the way, anybody else in the team, if you are here, let me know so I can pull you up as well. One of the powerful things I learned, and I'm telling you about just having the right relationships, right, is how many of us have met opportunities that we could have made tens of millions of dollars, but the entry requirement, we didn't have it. I met a lady recently, and true story, and she had this movie project in the US, and this movie project will help her to build a $400 million studio. And guess what the bank need? They just need not even the money, just a bank statement of $20 million. They don't need you to give them $20 million. Just a bank statement. And the bank statement can come from anywhere else in the world. Just bank statement. And guess what? The bank will then give you as much as $60 million to go and do your movie studio or buy a movie studio. They just need a guarantor with a bank statement. And this person couldn't get it in the last 5 years.
5 years.
In the last 5 years. Right? So people don't understand the power of having wealthy people. Because you see the point now. Can I be in that situation where all I need is a bank statement of $20 million and have this opportunity to access $60 million from the bank? And that's why you keep wealthy friends. Because you could even be in the front of your biggest breakthrough. And some of the requirements needed, you just don't have it. You just don't have it. And it's the reason why you just are not able to move to the next level. Which, and I agree. I'm sure, you're into real estate. You agree with me that you've seen probably things like this, even with real estate, where they're saying somebody, you need a guarantor of some sort, and you're not finding it. And it's the difference between very wealthy people and very, very poor people, right? Just being able to have friends, sometimes who can even say a word on your behalf, who can even say something for you, who can put in a word, who can give you a bank statement. Sam Fongo, you want to talk on this?
Yes, just talking about just even looking at just resharing what I said about the Nigerian client. Well, she's UK based but Nigerian origin. That I said she bought the property within a week cash. When she only just met me within a few days at the Samuelis Academy, but she did not know that there were private lenders, people that can just lend on their own. So there's no bank to decide the policy. The person just like, okay, serve the address of the property, they Google it, do their own desktop and say, okay, fine, I'll lend you 60% immediately. It's really having that network of people that can lend that kind of money. It just makes a game changer. Even for me, when I look back and the people I know now, I say, I wish I'd known them like 20 years ago. And someone knew them, but I was not asking the right questions to them. Because there's some people that I'm doing certain things with them now, which I've known them for a while. I thought, why didn't I ask? Why wasn't I doing this with this person before? But
Yeah.
it a lot of maybe getting to know, to educate yourself, because we're always learning from each other. We're always educating ourselves, knowing how you can get things done. But it's really having that network of people that can, like your men, the men guest on Saturday said about people lending credibility to you. I listened to you to him a few times on social media as well.
Yeah.
It's really about having the network where you can then use people's network. So someone can say, "Oh yeah, now I can buy a property within a week because I know this person that knew someone that could lend the money to me," and then it just goes that way. But it's really like this lady that you mentioned in your case study in the US. She just has to. Hopefully, she'll eventually meet the right person that will then introduce her to someone that say, "Oh yeah, here you go. This is a bank statement that um uh,
Exactly.
you won." Yeah, especially if they
Uh,
go to Atlanta. Atlanta has the highest amount of black millionaires. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's believed that but again, it's just understanding how, because the room, first of all, to be honest, guys, building wealthy relationship takes time, right? These people are not, I'm not going to meet you today and I'm giving you bank statements, with 20 million, I'm just not going to do that. Okay. So number one, building wealthy relationship takes time. Number two, you need to be in the room. So you need to prioritize rooms where such people are. Because when you then do that, you position yourself to get the kind of support that you desire from such people. They're then willing to help. And it's when you come close that you understand the language of the rich. For example, I've said this many times, don't meet a rich person and then you're rushing to them to ask for money. All right. It's just the wrong move. Totally. Um, and speaking about that, we have Mrs. Tony Banjo here. She just got in from her. I mean, she's also speaking at the conference, travel all the way down. And Mrs. Tony, I think you want to tell them how we met.
Oh, how did we meet again? Good evening, everyone.
Good
I'm
evening.
thinking now. How?
you're
Remind.
lighting. I think you haven't got a lot of lighting. So, or
Do you want
maybe
Oh,
to
sorry.
do you want
Let
to
me
face
just.
somewhere with light? Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that. How did we meet again? I'm trying to remember. My head is not working.
You've forgotten.
I'm, I'm, I'm
we,
tired.
we, I think you've known of me long ago, but we finally met in Dubai.
Dubai. Yes, one of my trips to Dubai. So yeah, that was where we met. And I've always traveled. Um, Even though I work, I'm enough. I heard the gentleman talking about supported living. I've been in supported living business for over how many years now? I can't even remember. I've been a qualified mental health nurse since over 25 years now. And sorry, Mom, trying to get light. Yeah, so I do buying and selling, and I traveled all over the place. So I think I usually go to Dubai as well to buy some of my stuff that I sell, I take to
Can
Nigeria.
you change the screen to be landscape portrait? No, no, for it to be portrait, just shake it to be straight.
I'm trying to, I don't know why it's not moving.
No, no, you just change the position of your camera. Your camera
Really?
is, uh,
Nope. What am I doing wrong?
but don't
I
worry,
don't
just
know.
go on. Just go on.
Keep. Oh no.
Don't worry, go on, go on.
Okay, so I then why am I so I travel all over the place buying things to sell, and I think I saw one of your posts that you will be in Dubai. and I've always followed you on social media. And you wanted to talk about, um, I think it's
E-commerce. It was an e-commerce
e-commerce
company.
business. Yes.
Yes,
So, and I
and
said, oh, this would be nice for me. And I think that was how I paid,
yeah.
and that was how I joined. And to be quite honest, after that meeting, I then decided to go for a niche. Even though I've been selling all sorts of shoes, bags, clothes, but I went for a particular niche. And after I met your wife, not even after that business, I met your wife, and then we got talking again. I think I registered for one of our classes as well, and I just picked a niche, and I made like millions from that niche that same year. Yes, and that was how I got started. And then I went, you talked about real estate, and I've always wanted something in Nigeria anyway. And got a property from you guys. And after that as well, I think I have about four now, five altogether in Nigeria as investment, both in Lagos and Abeokuta. And I have some lands as well. I'm still building and I'm still buying lands all over the place. So, yeah.
Hey, congratulations, because you are one of my success story, and you'll be speaking alongside Sam Pongo on real estate investment, because a lot of times people don't prioritize real estate investment. I knew when I met Mrs. Toyin at that time, and I know where she is today in terms of her finances and her investment, and I'm just grateful to God. The other day I went to I traveled all the way, I think over an hour, to a new house that she bought here in the UK, and I just couldn't but be happy. And I think that's part of what the conference is about. Conversation
Yeah.
around investment, conversation around owning a business, starting a business, and just, it's a risk. It's never easy. Being
It
an
is.
entrepreneur,
It is.
being an investor is a risk. If I remember one of the house you bought from me, at some point you got frustrated. I will never forget
Yeah.
that message. Like, look, I
Yeah.
just want my money back. And I remember saying to her, I said, hey, I thank you for trusting me. I just said to her, I said, I understand you are frustrated by the thing, but just hold on it. Because what you bought for 40 something thousand now is worth 100 and something million, and it's just amazing how wealth can be built if you trust the process. The of time people don't. I have here Serikin Daria is going to also be giving us comedy at the conference. Is I just finished his Europe tour and is wrapping up his UK tour. How you doing, Serikin Daria?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing very well, sir.
Yeah, Jane Daddy, yeah, call me the call me.
Lafia Kalu, sir.
You're back in your hotel.
Yes.
Good, 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 good. So how are you preparing to join us on Saturday?
Um, I'm good. I want to see a different experience with um audience that are business based and people who, yes, and of course in a foreign land this
Yeah.
time. Yes, the last time, the last class I attended was in Transcorp, Abuja.
Okay.
And so
Yes.
this time now I'm attending London edition. So I
Nice.
like to see a different experience, and it's even more important for me that I'll be talking. Yes, so I give them comedy from business angle, and I
hmm
assure them they will laugh while they learn.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I'm seeing a business version of you, and I think you've evolved, and a lot of people probably wouldn't have noticed.
Yes.
When you started, it was just more about the comedy, but now you do events, you monetize your content online. I mean, the conversation you and I were having today was just business conversation compared to the previous meetings that were really, wasn't starting business. But
Yes.
how did that part of you evolve?
You know, like, well, I think one time I saw a post you made where you were talking about your success story. You posted yourself and your wife. You did like a quick comparison of how you transitioned from that stage, entering into something only you believed was going to work at the time, because whoever you told it to wasn't making sense. At the long run, it's now making sense, you know. So me, the me you used to know, uh, was my own not making sense era. Because if I wanted to tell some people this is how I wanted to do comedy and this is the business part of it, me I'm looking at, it might not make sense to them. In fact, even coming from a disadvantaged zone where tribe and all of the association would put you at a disadvantage, you know, like
Mm.
that. So we dare to want to break out and do things. I I would say I am I am not properly on the path I want to be yet, but I'm grateful to God for the progress I've made so far.
Yeah.
Uh, I've done some things that look like it's just a mere thing to be done by anybody, but when I see some people capitalize on such milestone, I will now know, oh, I did this thing. I didn't even know it's a big deal. It is when some people begin to blow their trumpet when they do same thing. I take, for instance, I can take credit for saying I'm the first black comedian who did a comedy show in Huddersfield, United Kingdom.
Really?
Yes. Okay, let me
Okay.
say Nigerian. Let me not say black comedian. Let me not be okay. First Nigerian comedian to do a comedy show in Huddersfield.
Okay.
So
Where's
like
that?
that, eh?
I don't know how that works.
Yes. So
Uh,
like that. If it was myself telling myself, I would have said, okay, it was just on it was just an assumption. But I had people tell me, do you know you are the first person that will come and reach? People just usually just stop at leads and all that. So okay, this means I've made history. And that goes to tell that uh it's not a coincidence that I made such history. Because I haven't studied history and international studies from the university. What do you make of my career? If not for making history. Good evening, sir. I don't really know who I'm with down. Now we did downstairs. Good evening, sir. So nice to see you.
His name is Sam Fongo. He's from Cameroon. He's a real estate mogul. Sam
Oh
is you
wow.
are the one he's greeting.
Good evening, sir.
yeah, well done. Congratulations. I'm following your the auctions across the UK. So any area that you mentioned, I
Yes.
know Huddersfield is the area you see very few black people on the street. So
Yes.
to do a black or an African comedy show in that town and fill a room, then
Yes.
must have done some excellent marketing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so it's quite good when you go to a town like that and you bring in so many of our people out, because you'll be
Yes.
surprised how many people are just there in their own corners. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so it's great, great that you're able to bring out people and
Thank you so much.
taking them out.
Thank you so much.
And Doc, we have so much human capital in the UK. A few weeks ago, I did something similar like this on the some lady called me in Birmingham that has been attending some of the events at some of this to speak to a group. I don't know. There's a WhatsApp group of 600 African IT professionals in the Midlands. They have a WhatsApp
Wow.
group. So I came
Wow.
to talk to them about real estate. These are IT guys. They earn good money, but none of them are really invested in property.
Wow.
Yeah, so the lady that runs one of the admins on the WhatsApp group got me to speak to them, to just do like a Zoom event, talk to them about real estate, just create, educate them. So there's a huge community here. So I'm glad to know that you guys are the comedians. You're bringing them together on a platform.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, for an average comedy, I'm just curious because, again, there's the Business Growth Conference, and I love growth, and I'm big on growth, and
Yes.
I've seen your growth over time. For to host, because I'm sure some of your comedians may be here or they watch this later, to host an international comedy event, how much do you need to budget? You know, like you're coming from Ghana, you're coming from Cameroon or Kenya or Nigeria, and you want to do like a comedy show in London. Like, how much do you need to budget?
Okay, I'll say your niche determines that, and your current reality. If you are a comedian in vogue, you know what your strength is. Another thing, another determinant factor is who is planning the show for you. If you get yourself an inexperienced promoter, you're obviously going to spend more. It's very possible that somebody might come and not spend more than a £10,000 and do a massive event. And I have these two things to say. For now, comedy, unlike the music genre, has not been able, especially, let me speak for Nigeria now, because if I want to speak continentally, there are comedians who have done venues and arenas and have cashed out big time. Say Trevor Noah from South Africa,
Yeah,
Michael Blackson from Ghana.
yeah.
There is the
But
other Nigerian.
but we can't compare those people because those people didn't do it
Yes,
when we were in South Africa or when Michael Blackson was in Ghana. They did it when
yes,
they became American.
yes,
So
yes,
that's a leverage that we need to be
yes,
honest
yes.
about. But go ahead.
Yes, yes. So, leaving Nigeria or any other West African, state to do a show either in the UK or America would definitely cost a lot and will break a bank. Other time, like I was telling you this afternoon, there are most times where you will struggle to even break even. That is if you will not owe debts before you go back. But one
Wow.
of the advantage is this: when you make that move and you have got substance, by the time you will be done with the tour, if you come back to your country, there is serious validation as to a level you can push. There is brand trust. There is a labeled prospect on your personality and craft.
Yeah.
That okay, if this person can take all of this risk to invest on himself,
Yeah.
I like to support him to do this. That is where you get
Mm,
credible sponsors come on your show locally.
mm,
So by the time you try one, two, three times, another advantage will now be that by the time you try out one, two, three times that it doesn't work, you now know how it doesn't work. So the next time you now know how it should work because you've learned over the years how it doesn't work.
mm.
So for things you previously spent maybe like £5,000, because you now know how it works, you might spend the £500 because you know your way around it. There
Wow.
are things you come to the UK and pay for, you now know that okay, I can do them and bring them from Nigeria. I'll give you one instance, as basic as it will be, the cost of printing a handbill here will break a bank. But if I'm
Mm,
coming from Nigeria and I need to get 1,000 pieces, I just print it and bring. Save myself the stress. and
Okay.
save up to £1,000, which is a lot of money because here the £1,000 might sound in pounds, but in Nigeria the reality will be about 2.1 million, and that's a big money. That's somebody's annual rent in Abuja, like that. So all of those things. So I can't categorically say there is a specific amount an average comedian would need to have, because that is going to depend on the number of persons he's coming with as a supportive act. Like in my case, I had like 4 people as supportive act. The cost of their visa, the cost of accommodation, work permit, and all of those things will be copied in. And before you know, for one person is running into about 4.3 million already, depending on maybe the person giving you the COS is God fearing. But if you have for yourself somebody who has no sympathy, because I dare say one of the disadvantage we have is that it was recently I was telling somebody that if you think that most Africans, especially West Africans who are in West Africa, can be wicked to themselves. Wait till you jam the ones that have crossed to this part of the world. Yes, they will capitalize on your vulnerability at every slight opportunity to milk their fellow brother.
Mm. Mm.
They will, in fact, they will make you learn the hard way in a manner that okay. They will run you to the last kobo and then make you hold them for something you are not supposed to owe them, like that.
Since
So by
you
the time you fall into the hand,
since you
but
are,
it's
you are speaking from experience, eh?
from very hard experience, zero zero, they like zero sympathy, no sympathy, no empathy, nothing like that. They don't want to know. They just believe, you are coming from Nigeria, you are a JJC, money day in body, things go the free camp. But that is not
but
it.
but funny enough, it wasn't like that before. I think before, you that you're coming from Nigeria or Africa, you are
Yes,
relying largely on those who are here.
yes,
But I think things have been a bit difficult in recent years. And that's why we feel conferences like this are very important because
yes,
they begin to expose our people to the conversation around entrepreneurship.
yes,
The UK, to be honest, has experienced a lot of challenges in recent years. It's
yes,
not the UK that used to exist before.
yes,
It used to be a lot easier for people, welfare benefits, getting jobs used to be a lot easier.
yes.
I don't know whether it was after Brexit, but things have been a bit
I
tough.
feel
I mean,
so. I feel
yeah,
so. I feel it's
I
after
think,
Brexit.
yes, after
Yeah.
Brexit, the economy hasn't been doing well.
Yes.
UK is officially in recession as we speak. I remember discussing with a few people here, and you're hearing somebody doing maybe a nursing job. Believe it or not, how much is the person earning? £2,000. What's the rent? £800. A few other bills, and you're like, how are you able to survive
Mm,
on maybe just £500 a month?
mm,
Here in
yes.
the UK. Uh, Funny enough, such people never think entrepreneurship, never think business, never
Mm,
think investment. And
mm,
then there's always that mindset that, okay, maybe when I become a citizen, being a citizen doesn't make you wealthy either.
yes. Yes.
It
You
doesn't.
still you still run the same routine that has
Yes,
kept you aback for 10
it's
years.
the same routine, it's the
Yes.
same circle over and over and over and over again. And that's why we keep shouting, entrepreneurship is the way. Start a business. It's not easy, but learn from those who have done it. I just saw Daniel Moses here. Daniel Moses used to be an Uber driver here in the UK, right? Today you see Daniel Moses all over the world doing well, and turn his life and business around from just choosing the path to entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping, by the way, you guys will turn up.
Yes.
It's going to be Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Millennium Chester Hotel, London. The website is businessgrowthconference.org. Go register. You can use the coupon code business to reduce the fee for you. You get 50% discount today. So go sign up. You can also register for the virtual attendance if you're not in London. But we will be in London. We're going to have a great time. We'll have many speakers. We have a panel on doing business in the UK. We have a panel on AI and streaming. That is a big conversation. You're going to be learning a few things. Maybe I'll even have you anchor that session. I'm
Okay.
bringing Bolahan. Bolahan just did a movie, and he's streaming the movie on Amazon. He's going to be sharing a lot about shooting movies, premiering them, monetizing and things like that. But hey, you have to, leverage on conferences like this. Dr. Cosmos is going to be doing 2 sessions. On Saturday. You know, I mean, it's not easy for somebody who had grade 3 education start his business with $200. You know, as at 10 years ago, Forbes said is worth $500 million. You know, so now you can guess how much is worth in billions of dollars. Um, and and he has businesses all over the world, Japan. A lot of people don't even know much of the businesses Dr. Cosmos control. So there's a lot to learn about, you know, from people like that. I always say this: success leaves clue. You want to replicate anybody's success, follow their path, get closer to them, ask them questions, you know, study the pattern, follow the clues. But success leaves clue. And I can assure you, you can build massive wealth internationally. You can start a business. It's not easy. None of us got easy. I started my business 17 years ago with $10. And we're on 4 continents today. It's not easy. Still not easy. I've been through hell being an entrepreneur. People misunderstanding you, people calling you name, you know, your employees committing crime and then you fire them and then they go online, they go call your clients and tell them lies. And the clients, sometimes people are unwise enough to believe such people. You know, one of the most ridiculous experience I had was this employee was who I gave her a lead of somebody said they wanted to do business, they want to buy property from us. So I said, okay, you know, close the client because I don't do sales. So if people reach out, I just send them to employees and sent to this employee. And she was talking to the customer, and you won't believe this. She told the customer that her job is to get the customer a cheap property because she gave the customer another real estate company's product. And the lady said, this is not GTEx. So no, no, my boss knows that my job is to look for the cheapest property for you. Sampongo, have you ever heard of such? And then the client still then insisted. I said, Dr. Stephen, I know. It's GTEx, I know. Only give me property from GTEx. Then she finally gave the client a property from GTEx. Guess what she did? The client said, okay, I'm okay. Give me account detail. She sent another company's account number.
Okay. Oh dear.
Yes, it's real old dear. Right? And so, of course, our CSO took her to the police station. She wrote statement. They released her. Of course, you know, management said, take it to court. Right? She wouldn't show up in court. And guess what she did? She then sued the company for human rights abuse. So, to my son, I mean, I have seen a lot in business.
My God.
Yes, it's really, oh my God. So sometimes when people see some of us come this far, they have no idea. And because majority of people never run business in their life before, you know, I mean, if I'm not sharing this with you, if even you, Samfongo, will never believe someone can do this. So if a customer then calls, now I didn't believe she did it until the customer sent me the audio recording of their conversation, and AI has not come out this time. This is many years ago, so you will have said AI did it. The customer recorded the entire conversation and sent it. I said, "This, you can imagine the embarrassment."
No, it's really, I'm not too surprised because I have a friend in Cameroon. Well, he's from here actually. He moved back to Cameroon. In fact, if you've ever seen, there was a hit documentary in the UK called Lagos Airport. When Lagos had a horrible airport for the new one, he made a big hit here, Lagos Airport. That's the guy who shot that documentary. He's a Cameroonian guy. He's moved back home. He's doing very well. He has a good resort in Cameroon. A lot of rich Nigerian guys come over on that boat to come and have a good time and fly back to Nigeria. Once he had a very busy evening. Some Nigerian, he said, he discovered, he told me that, like you have this MO, the number thing to make payments straight to a number in Cameroon. They call it MO. One of the manager actually saw when these guys came, they were spending a lot, and she used a wrong number to collect the invoice. It's like, and the way he picked it up is only because when he came, one of the guys was not happy with his service. The guy said, "I cannot come here. We spend X amount of money and we don't get respect." But the guy said he went and saw, but the bill, the tickets were not that high for what the guy said he spent. That's the first time that it rang a bell. If not, he would have never known. Then he discovered that she's been doing it over and over. So she was like a JV partner. Sometimes she would just get people to pay to her own account directly, because they would do something in Cameroon called like Momo, where you can pay someone straight to a phone number, MTN number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are using it instead of credit cards. You pay straight money transfer on your bill. So she's giving a number to the client on the table.
Wow.
So yeah, so at times, when you run a business or it's charitable business, people, they tell you that challenges. It's not what people see from out there.
No, he's not. And unfortunately, people who don't know, and I think a lot of African diaspora struggle to understand what goes on back in Africa, because here in the UK you can't do such. So people struggle to even believe, so you see people siding with the employee rather than siding with the employer, because when the employee comes and says, "Oh, don't mind my boss," you won't believe what they did. You're not even saying, what if maybe this is not true? What if maybe this person probably even did something wrong and the employer, took legal action, and this person is coming to say bad things? So unfortunately, a lot of people don't even think that way, because they are comparing themselves to say, "I've been working in a company for 15 years in the UK, right? I did them no wrong. They didn't fire me. How come this company keeps firing? Something is wrong." I used to have somebody who used to say, "Oh, I heard this staff is no longer in your company. Something must be wrong with your company." I said, "There's nothing wrong. It's just the way Africa works. There's higher turnover."
But
Right?
it happens here as well. It's happened
Yeah.
to actually here. I'm going to make it really short. And funny enough, so one of my Nigerian clients, right? He's one of the big guys in Lagos in real estate. Like if you drive down the Lekki Expressway, you see 2 or 3 of office estates. I'm extremely close to this guy. I've taken my whole family down to Nigeria on Christmas Day. We spend Christmas at his house. I'm close to the wife, and I manage a block of quite a few properties for them. And I had this guy that worked for me, and the rents are paid straight into account. So this guy just joined, and he went to one of he was very smart. He picked the Romanians who could have minimal English. He changed their bank account that they pay rents to. So the wife manages the account. So the wife is saying they're not all, so the rents are short to the guy that manages the rentals. And then it comes to me. I call the guy. He says, yeah, he's paying money. He's paying the rent. He even sends me he's paying rents. And I must admit, I got a bit, I'm pretty calm. It takes a lot to make me angry. And I think I got a bit rude to this lady, because I was like, what does she think she is? Like, the rents are being paid, the guy is paying rents. Until he came here, me and him went to the block of flats. Then we discovered that they were paying to the wrong account that guy changed.
Wow.
So here, and he was very smart. He looked at people in the block that had that minimal English. So they don't quite, they just know that it's from the office. So they picked that he gave them, they didn't challenge it. And so it happens here as well. So, and I'm saying, sharing this, so that if anyone here is running a business in the UK, don't assume that our guys cannot do that here. Because the guy did it. So the guy,
Were you guys able to arrest him?
Mega Man, he builds like quite a few estates on Lekki Expressway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine. It was quite. I was very close to the wife.
But
even
was he
though
able to get the case reported to the police here in the UK?
yeah. Okay, of course, here you can report it to the police. You can get that done. But so sometimes I know him, know his family. You start thinking about the consequence to him. So, and this is one thing that we do. And then because in Nigeria, in Cameroon, you can report it to an extent. You can stop it back, yeah, if you want to. But in the UK, once you report it, it's out of your hands. There's nothing that you cannot stop it again. If you open that kind of worm, you cannot stop it. When you
Yeah,
know him, you know his family, you know the impact of
yeah,
taking him to the police. And then I run a lot of events and things like that. It can impact you as well as a business. When
mm.
people they start feeling that, oh, there's some loopholes around your business, at times you have to start thinking about someone. This is, should I report it?
I mean, what we go through as entrepreneurs is something else. It's a world, it's exciting to be an entrepreneur, and it's something you will never change, but it's also equally tough. And that's why I tell people, if you see an entrepreneur successful, doing well, just be happy for them. Don't feel like maybe they're gaining too much, or there's an unfair advantage or something, because sometimes people feel that way, like this person is benefiting too much, they shouldn't get that much or this much. I don't think so. You know what people go through to run business, to keep businesses, to stay years in business
Yeah.
and build reputation, build credibility. It's no joke. It's no joke.
No, it's quite challenging. And we've got quite a few people online. While we've been talking, I've been sharing the link to tomorrow's event on the diaspora group, the Niger group, the Nigerian group. There's quite a few Nigerian WhatsApp groups I'm in. The business
Okay.
group. So please, if anyone is here on that any of those groups that I've just shared the event to, can you please reshare it so that they know? Because those WhatsApps are so busy. As soon as you share something, it goes down. So please, and then please do share the event in the WhatsApp groups that you belong to, the church groups and
Yeah.
the state groups that you or ex boarding school. Those are belong to school alumni groups. Please just share the event for Saturday.
Yeah, please guys, get the word out there. There some of you have email list, social media, on your page. Business Growth Conference is taking place Saturday, Sunday. You can register on www.businessgrowthconference.org. You can use the coupon code business to get discount. I want to say that we don't make profit on conferences. Um, thank God Sanfongo was part of the 2022 one. I spent over £50,000 for that event, and I didn't even sell £5,000 worth of tickets, right? And this one as well is the same. Venue alone cost over £10,000, right? So sometimes people like, you don't wear designers. Trust me, my Rolex has gone into trying to add value because those kind of money, if I use them buy Rolex and start showing off, and I'm not, unfortunately, it's not just my kind of person. But I spend a lot, on
Now,
conferences.
venues are very expensive in the UK. To
They,
get a
they, they are
tent
apparent.
where you are, it's not mean fit.
It's a lot. And when you look at also my flight ticket, our guest flight, our keynote speaker flight tickets and hotels, and it's a lot to put events like this together. So guys, don't think, because unfortunately, people look at this event because they are paid and they are assuming, you know, and sometimes we even give some free tickets. Unfortunately, we're done with all the free tickets, so no more free tickets. Um, so it takes a lot, but I promise you, you have my word. This will be more than worth it if you show up. Way more than the money you're paying, way valuable. We've done this before. I was just even going through some of the clips from 2022. I was like, wow, you mean we had this much speakers? You mean we had this much value given away at the event? I was like, wow. So it's going to be a great time here in London, Saturday and Sunday. Myself, Dr. Cosmos, Sanfongo, Fumitela. I mean, we have more than 8 speakers. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, if you're not in London, you can join virtually as well. Just go register on that website, www.businessgrowthconference.org. We look forward to seeing you, and thank every one of you who have joined the show tonight. Again, push the link out, tell people, and what's funny with someone like Dr. Cosmos, it's not easy to have someone like that just come do a conference. It's not I won't be surprised if this is his first time in 5 years.
I'll follow him on social media. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I look forward to sharing a stage with him and meeting him. But,
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the richest guys in Africa as a whole ever. And there are not people, maybe you see him preach in churches. That's it. You don't see him do conference. I've been one of those who have been able to push him out and to get him to say at this latter part of his life, he's 66 now. And get him to say, hey, there's a whole new generation that we need to see how we can add value to outside of the church world. So I promise you it's going to be life transforming. Don't miss it. Get the word out there. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Sanfongo. As always, you've always been always been there. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
thank you. So I look forward to Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
But